This movie tells a story about Sophie, who after losing her husband has struggled to manage grief, a full-time job, and parenting her devastated daughter. When a former physicist reveals a secret time-bending machine, Sophie will be faced with an impossible choice. First of all, this movie poses some interesting questions about the nature of time and justice, with many ethical and moral debates surrounding their decision to change the past. In sci-fi movies like this, there's also some interesting aspect from watching the ways characters playing God and consistently comes back to give them some lesson. Unfortunately, this movie feels like a missed opportunity. For most part, this movie feels really bland, as the script fails to keep the audience interested. Much of the first half of the film simply runs its characters through the motions of the aftermath of a loss, without giving the audience a deeper connection to them. The pacing really drags through the beginning of the film and into the middle. The movie completely wastes the potential of the plot to build emotional impact. The script doesn't have the emotional complexity to bolster emotion towards Sophie and her husband and their tangled predicament. The fundamental relationship between Sophie and her husband is not established strongly enough to deeply resonate. That big emotions after the first execution that we fully expect never quite arrive. Sophie starts feeling guilty over the financial plight of the drunk driver's wife suffers in the absence of her husband, but the movie fails to explore this potential. We see Sophie and her agony, but we never really feel it, as the stakes don't seem as high as they should. There's a strong level of guilt placed upon Sophie, being in the reverse of this situation, that would have made for a riveting movie by itself. There's a secondary plot, but because the audience is told rather than shown, it rather falls flat. After enduring so much talking and debating, and simply watching Sophie and her husband spin through their predicament, it all stumbles toward a lame conclusion. It's a somewhat predictable conclusion that doesn't answer every question posed within, and it rather arrives abruptly. In the end, the movie doesn't have much of a grand emotional payoff. Overall, we do not recommend to watch this in theaters. Just wait on your streaming channel.